Hello, everybody. I'm Matt Bridger, and for those of you who don't know me, as this is Richard's channel, I'm a UK Vegas vlogger. I've been vlogging my trip since 2014. In case you subscribe to Richard and not me, we hooked up last trip in March as things were closing down. Reviews and a second live stream, and we really wanted to do it again to show you a deserted D Las Vegas. So welcome, Richard. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Hello, everybody. I'm coming live from the D Las Vegas Casino Hotel in Las Vegas. I've been an executive for 25 years in this town, taking care of everybody. So I wanted to show you before, basically a once-in-a-lifetime event, to see a casino actually empty with nobody in it and getting prepared to reopen June 4th. So welcome.
Just we were chatting beforehand, and I know you've been going into the office, so I've got one question just before the questions start coming in. Everybody, if you've got questions, please fire them up in the comments, and I'll pick a select few. So you've been going in a couple of times a week. What have you been up to over the last sort of 8 weeks, Richard?
So I've been coming in a few times a week just to catch up on administrative stuff. You know, I get 1,000 emails. Sometimes I don't get back to everybody. Unfortunately, it's just a lot, so I get to catch up. Also, doing this YouTube stuff, it's been great because it's been able to allow me to learn more about it. So I can apply it to the YouTube channels of the D and the Golden Gate and Circa once it opens, so we can get more statistics and get a feel for how that works more in the way of live streaming and things like that. So it's actually benefiting the company as well by doing these live streams. So it's been teaching me a lot that way too. And thanks to you and Hagen 2 Cent for helping me with this whole YouTube thing.
Oh no, it's a pleasure. And well, I mean, you're on 1,000 subscribers after 3 weeks, so maybe you'll be teaching.
I love it.
Anyway, just while we wait for the questions to come in terms of Circa, have we got any updates on Circa opening dates? Whether it's still on track? Has the lockdown changed the potential opening date? What do you think?
Well,
what are your hunch? What is your hunch at the moment?
I can tell you this: Circa is looking great. The almost all the glass is almost up. The sign's going to be going up. I mean, I walked it 2 weeks ago with the owner, Derek Stevens, and I'm telling you, it's incredible. It is going to give everybody in this town in the way of casino owners a run for their money. And that pool area is going to be possibly the best pool area in North America. So it's something to see. The sports book is huge. It's going to be the biggest sports book in the world. Absolutely. So I can't wait. The restaurants where they're going in is going to be amazing. Barry's Downtown Prime's got its own separate kind of go downstairs by itself, kind of in the basement kind of entrance. It's awesome. This place is going to be spectacular. And I can't wait to show it off to everyone.
And in terms of an opening date, are we still looking at 2020?
It's looking like 2020, and it's looking very good that we may even open a little bit earlier, but nothing in pencil yet. So we'll see. All right. Well, I'll let you know as soon as I know, and I'll get on here and tell everybody about it.
Fantastic. Okay, especially here with G1980. Hi, Pete. Hi, Richard. What do you think will be the biggest challenge when you reopen on the 4th of June? And this is a good question. So I'm sure you've been doing a lot of planning. So what do you see the challenges from the get-go?
Well, Pete, good question. So, you know, the challenge is keeping everybody safe and keeping the casino clean. But, you know, we meet that challenge every day when we work at the D and the Golden Gate, because our cleaning staff is incredible already. They write reviews about it on TripAdvisor, how clean this casino is. So that challenge, I think every casino is going to have, is keeping their place clean and safe for their customers. Well, we already do a good job at that. So we're just going to do even better, if that's even possible. At the same time, I think a challenge was we didn't know what the demand would be like in a way of how many people actually want to come back to Vegas right away, how safe they feel. But I'll tell you what, if you go on Twitter and see Derek J. Stevens, our owner, and you see the video he just put out this morning at 9 a.m., it is all over the media everywhere. He bought 1,000 flights from various cities to fly people in one way just to get into Vegas and have you come back. And that's huge right now. And the demand is incredible. He's got a hashtag called Keep America Flying and Keep Las Vegas Rolling. It's amazing how the demand has been out there now. Everybody's booking. We sold out within 2 hours of those 1,000 flights. So everybody wants to get back to Vegas. So that challenge was worrying about the demand. I think the demand's going to be there. So I think these other casinos are going to have to open pretty quickly too.
Fantastic. And just in terms of your hotel capacity, what sort of percentage will you open initially to sort of gauge interest and how many people are going to stay? Are you going for a certain percentage or just see how it goes? Bearing in mind all the social distancing and, you know, you don't want to have it too full, I guess.
I think everybody's looking at what the governor said about 50% occupancy in certain places. So I think we're going to play it by ear and try to keep at that level. But then again, it really depends on the demand, and it really depends on how many people show up to check in. I mean, but we are going to space it out. I'm sure the hotel's going to open from so many floors down, and we'll go from there. We'll play it by ear, and then we'll play by what our governor and our gaming commission allows. Fantastic.
Second question from Travels Orc, who do a great Vegas podcast and Twitter and blog, etc. He plans to be at the D next week, flying in from London. I'm not sure how you're going to do that, actually. But anyway, can you tell me the hint if you are? We start touching the cards in high limits.
You know, that's a good point. Even for double deck pitch, I don't think we're going to be allowing anybody to touch cards right now. I think it'll be just an exposure thing in the way of the cards, just showing all the cards. Even in Baccarat, we'll just have the dealer turn it over. Some players like that anyways. But right now, it's just a safer way to go. Our dealers, our staff will be wearing masks. It's not mandatory for the guests. They're welcome to wear it, but it's not mandatory. But our employees will be wearing masks. And so we're just going to try to keep it as clean as possible. So touching of the cards right now probably won't happen for guests. And we washed all the chips. All the chips have been washed. I think that's one of the best things that probably happened to Vegas during this quarantine time was that everybody probably washed all their chips. And that's something that probably nobody ever thought about. So those are usually people, you think about it, thousands of people touch them every day. So the fact that they got washed is a huge cleaning and hygiene thing. So that's awesome.
It'll be so clean, they're going to be slipping out your hands, eh? Okay, a question from Craig Jennings. Is there any truth to the COVID cleaning fee? Now, obviously, this will be to do with resort fees and all the rest of it. Everyone's very hypersensitive about that type of thing. I've never heard of this. Are the D going to introduce a COVID cleaning fee?
No, I have never heard of that. And I don't put it past some people, but no, listen, everybody has the resort fees already put into their product, you know, but ours doesn't change. If anything, we got deals going on to come stay with us. So COVID cleaning fee, I've never heard of. We're not doing it. And we just want to see you back here. So you won't see a COVID cleaning fee. And if you do, then we'll talk about it, but you're not going to see it here.
No, absolutely. I'm sure that was the case. So, okay. Next question, Gary Lambert. Richard, do the downtown hotels attract many whales? And this sort of follows on a question we had last time about how easy it is to lure players on the strip. Would they tend to go to strip properties, or do you find as long as the gambling scenery is correct and the gambling conditions are correct, they'll go anywhere?
Well, Gary, I'll tell you this. I've taken care of some of the biggest gamblers in the world, and I've had them come down here and stop in. Listen, they may not stay downtown because they want their 15,000 square foot suites like Alan had in the Gambling in Las Vegas documentary. And that kind of product we don't have downtown. But I'll tell you what, we have some damn good looking suites. And we have 2 penthouses at the Golden Gate that is by far can compete with anybody on the strip. So, and down here, you find a lot of drop-in play. So a lot of my guys will call me and say, Rich, I want to come down for dinner at Andiamo, and then let's play a little bit. So let's say they have a $500,000 credit line somewhere. They'll come down and they'll ask me to open them up for 100,000 here or half of that here. And that's the way it goes with downtown. Everybody wants to come and check out the fun and see what it's like. So they come down and play part of their bankroll if they're not staying here, which we call drop-in play. But a lot of times if they want that special amenity of the suite or the jacuzzi in the room, or they might have their wife with them and they want to spoil their wife, then they stay in the big villas and the sky villas and that. So yes, whales do come downtown, and listen, some of the biggest whales come downtown, and I take care of them.
Excellent. How do you think Circa will position itself against other properties on the Strip and downtown with regards to room costs? Actually, this is an interesting question because obviously it is, I would say the most high profile of the new properties, even against Resorts World. So again, pricing is an interesting thing if you're trying to lure people down to the brand new big downtown resort.
I think pricing for Circa will be comparable to anything down here. But remember, it's going to be a brand new hotel and casino resort. So when that happens, you get sold out immediately. Everybody wants to check out a new casino hotel. So you get sold out right away. So those prices of people buying those rooms determine what the prices are. So what happens is we could sell out of 400 rooms and only have 100 rooms left. So that price is going to be dictated by the demand. And that happens at every casino hotel. The best thing I can tell you this, get a player's card, which is the one card that goes between all three of our properties. So when you play at all three of our properties, those comps are earned and you can use them at Circa to comp you and get room comps like any of our properties. So that's your best bet. And to be part of that, I'd get a one card as soon as you could and go sign up at the D.com for one and get on there. And as soon as you get back to Vegas, start playing at one of our properties to be prepared for Circa, because those comps will be able to be used there. So that'll help you with those room costs because you'll get it for free if you gamble enough.
There you go. Okay, a question for Gia or Gia. If you stay at the D and you want to go to the casino, obviously going on the 50% capacity we just mentioned, will people still have priority over people wandering? That's interesting. On a Saturday night, for example, you're going to have a lot of guests that are staying. Are you going to see how busy it is before you start letting in the general public?
So if you're staying here, you'll have a room key. So anybody with a room key that is staying here right now with our particular room key for that time will be known as one of our guests. So they will have priority over anybody just wondering if we do have that 50% rule. Yes, absolutely. You get first priority because you are staying with us and you are a guest of ours. So that will happen. We do that anyways on times of really busy nights where we're slam packed, where people just want to come in and use the restroom. We ask, are you staying here? Because off of Fremont Street, you could get a lot of people doing that. So we still ask if people are staying here, and they show a room key or something. So that all helps, and we're very good at handling that. So that won't be an issue.
Okay. Next question from Edgar England. Hi, Edgar. This is an interesting one for me in terms of obviously with Vegas being so popular in Europe, particularly the UK. Have you any idea what the split is between sort of local US and international visitors?
You can see.
Do they have stats like that?
They probably do. I don't know them, unfortunately, but you can tell in certain months of the year where more tourists come from. So when people don't celebrate Christmas wherever they're from, whether they're from Europe or they're from Asia, if they don't celebrate Christmas, they come in at December, and you see a bigger influx of people coming from those areas during that time. I've noticed a lot of Canadians and a lot of UK people. They come in a lot to Vegas. But remember, we're the United States. So the United States has 350 million, 370 million people, something like that. So we're going to get the majority of people coming in from the U.S. because we're surrounded by 40 million, maybe 50 million people that can drive into us. And California being that one state that has so many people right now that want to get away from their state right now, they're coming to Vegas. So I would say you can tell during certain months, but any other time, it's probably majority U.S. mostly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, this question was always going to come up, and it's always good to have an update. Is there any update on the Louie follow-up documentary, new gambling in Las Vegas at Circa potentially?
So Louie
have you spoken to him during lockdown, Richard?
Yes. So Louie and I have been talking through email, and his producers first reached out to me, and then I sent a tweet out to him, and he reached out to me. We've been talking through email. He likes what's happening and what he's hearing about my owner, Derek Stevens, and Circa. So he's very interested to see what's going on. And I told him he'll be the first to do it. So if he gets out here quick enough, so hopefully we can advance that even more. I sent him some pictures of Circa. He loves it. And I said, here's the difference. This time we won't only get high rollers in the way of gambling. You can get high rolling sports bettors. You can get high rollers at the pool that don't even gamble, but they spend $10,000 on a cabana and have the best cabana by the pool. These are things that we'll be able to do. You know, I could take him into a 5-star restaurant with a celebrity chef that he could sit at the table in the kitchen. You know, the chef's table. These are things that are cool, that are the new to Vegas, or things that'll be brand new. So it would be a great second part, or even just Louie revisiting Vegas 15 years later. So yes, I'm pushing hard for it. And I think him and my owner, Derek Stevens, would get along really good. So Louie, if you're listening and you're watching this, let's do it, buddy.
I couldn't agree more. Richard. Stephen Irvin actually asks whether we're going to get a live tour of the casino and how it looks now. Stephen, yes, we are. We are going to go out into the D and show you exactly how it is. Whenever Richard wants to do it, he can take it away.
Let's do it now.
Do you want to do it now, or we're going to take? Let's do it now. Let's do it now.
We'll do it now. You ready? Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm going to leave my office.
So now you know where Richard's office is when he comes out the front door here. And there's about 75 staff in there today, I understand.
That's the front office,
and
the front desk where we check in. Let me show you this.
Doesn't it just long? It gives you a longing to be back. It does for me. I know that much. Amazing stuff.
There's your Buffaloes.
Wow.
I'm waiting for all you slot players to come in, and you can POV on your slot machines and show you guys playing. So look at this.
That's only a lot busier, to put it mildly.
Where you guys aren't allowed, but I'm bringing you in behind the scenes of the tables right now. So this is it, guys.
Fantastic. That is a surreal sight. It really is. This really is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to see a closed casino. Amazing.
If you think about it, you know, you never could sit in a casino and live stream from the super fun double deck 21 game. So we're sitting in the middle of the casino right now at the D Las Vegas, and no one is around. You got a few executives like the owners and a few of us guys and a few workers getting it ready for June 4th. But we're preparing. We're ready for all of you to come back. So let's fill this casino again.
Absolutely. And actually, just out of interest, on June 4th, I guess it's hotel guests and everything opens on June the 4th. You're not going to have hotel guests maybe the night before, so they're ready to gamble on June the 4th. It's everything opens on the same day.
We're allowed to open a hotel just before that. So I believe we have some flights that Derek bought coming in June 3rd. So June 3rd, the hotel will open. Gaming will open on June 4th.
Okay.
So that gives people a little bit of extra time to get in here, and we'll be ready for them.
Fantastic. Okay, next question from Linda S. Will they need to wear a mask at the Golden Gate to play and go around the property?
So the mask for guests is optional. It's up to you if you want to do that, and we're fine with it. Usually they don't let face coverings in a casino because you're in a gambling area with surveillance. But during this time, the face mask that covers your nose and your mouth will be is totally optional for the guests. Employees will be wearing, any employees that deal with guests, front of the line employees will definitely be wearing masks, just to be cleaner and safer for the guests.
Fantastic. Okay. And in terms of the whole social distancing thing, how with people, not so much playing the games, because obviously it's easy to have the distancing when you're sat at a table or sat at a bank of slots, but in terms of wandering around the casino, maybe getting drinks at the bar, that could get quite complicated. How is that going to work?
Well, listen, this is all a test for everybody. I mean, you were here when we first got the news that we were closing, so we already had social distancing where we had to turn every other machine off, in a way of slot machines, just before we went into this pandemic. So right now, it'll be back to where 3 people at a casino table, where normally you put 5, so you always have a space in between. There won't be touching of the cards. Dealers will be wearing masks. At the bar, the bar is going to be an issue because you have slot machines all lined up. But, that's easy because you can just push the chair against the bar, in a way of leaning it against the bar to show that chair is closed and that slot machine's closed. So every other one is available. Bartenders won't serve you there. They'll serve you in another area. So there are ways to get around to make social distancing and people aware more that it's being done. But, it's going to be crazy here because Fremont Street, once it opens, and they're going to try to open, I hear, tentatively, maybe the 1st to start getting used to it again. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be crazy. There's going to still be bands on the stage. There's going to be people still wanting to enjoy themselves. They've been cooped up for a long time. And if you're feeling great and you have no underlying conditions, you're probably going to come to Vegas and have some fun and get away with somebody and your friends that you haven't seen for so long. And we're going to give you the best option to do that by keeping the place clean, safe, and having a good time again.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm sure America always does all of that side of the all the people, whatever, so well, whether it be lines or whatever. So I've no doubt that it will be absolutely spot on. I've seen this question. I've got to do it. I know it's for people like myself, but I've seen this about 10 times in the chat so far. Is there any rumours about when you think the travel ban for UK people to visit the USA will be lifted? Have you heard anything? Has it been discussed in the inner circles of the D circa Golden Gate?
Well, listen, I think
give us some hope. Give us some hope, Richard.
Listen, I can tell you this. I am hoping all my UK friends come back here as soon as possible. Sooner than later, right? Well, listen, I think that's up to the president. I think you tweeted me out, or somebody tweeted me out from the UK saying, Mr. President, open up the UK border so we can come back to Vegas and visit the United States. I think that has to do with your government and him getting together and getting it done. But I'll tell you what, the way it's looking is more and more things are opening up quicker now. And that's because all of the everything's coming down now. Everything's plateaued and coming way down now. Look at, who was it? Was it New Zealand or somebody opened up? I just saw it on Twitter. And I could be wrong about that just opened up. They had no deaths and nobody treated in the hospitals at all for COVID. So that's great. That's great news. So I think it's going to eventually, within the next weeks and maybe a month, things are going to open wide open, and you're going to see stuff traveling again from the UK. People coming in from the UK again. I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed. Here's a question from my best mate, Colin Fell, who some of you will know that I did a vlog with him a couple of years back. How you doing, Colin? So will the slots, or will the games well, really slots is going to be play more generously on reopening. Are the percentage return to play going to be adjusted either up or down, or will it be as it was on St. Patrick's night? Moving on.
You know, Colin, it's a great question. That's something I really can't answer truthfully because I don't know. I haven't heard of anything really being adjusted because I think it's something you have to go through gaming to get done. Maybe there's a slot expert that knows a little bit more than I do that can answer that in the comments below. But I'll tell you this, and I'll get one of my guys here to be able to go on there and answer too, or give me an answer for it. But I'm going to tell you this. Think about it. These machines haven't been played for how long? A couple months. I think they're willing and able to start paying out because they haven't been played. So I'll tell you what, I would come in and I'd play a whole bunch of different machines. And I'd play as many as you can, work it up and down the casino on both floors because I think they're just waiting to hit because they haven't been played. So it's going to be interesting to see how many winners we have right off the bat. And listen, they're all primed up and ready to go. We had these off a little while back, and I have a video that I'll show later on in my channel of a closed casino compared to the open casino. And you'll see some of the slots were off, but they're all primed and ready to go. So we'll keep track of that for you, though, Colin, and I'll let you know.
Fantastic. Yeah. Question from Andre. How you doing, Andre? Now, will Circa have a poker room since the only option in downtown is the Nugget? And the room rates Circa versus Gold Nugget. Actually, that's a bit of a slightly different question to what we had earlier. I guess those are going to be the two headline properties downtown. So are you monitoring again in terms of room rates to sort of match or maybe slightly beat Golden Nugget? Certainly the Rush Tower.
You know, poker, we're not going to do at Circa, unfortunately. There's just what they put together in that place. There's going to be so much to do. And I know poker players usually play another game as well, so you'll be able to get comps for your rooms there anyway. So Golden Nugget does have a great poker room, and they kind of hold hold all the best poker players there and games. So they're going to probably keep to that. And you know what? We're just right across from there. You just step out their door, and we've got an entrance right there for you. So it's not far. And room rates, listen, Golden Nugget forever down here I believe they have 2,000 rooms. So listen, they've accommodated a lot of people. And when you have 2,000 rooms, you can play around with rates a lot more. We're going to start off with just over 500, 530 or something. And we're going to see how the demand goes. And if the demand goes well, then we know whether or not to add more suites or add more certain rooms. And I think that's a genius idea that our owner Derek's doing to see what the demand is on the type of rooms. But when you got a brand new hotel and casino, like I said before, and you've got everybody wanting to see it because it is the most anticipated place right now in the way of opening a hotel and casino in Las Vegas. So you're going to have a lot of people there, and that's going to dictate the rate, unfortunately, for a guest. But I'll tell you what, like I said before, get a player's card, and we'll see about comping you.
No, totally. Yeah, anyone who doesn't use a player's card, and I went years without using them like an idiot, but I certainly have them now, and you've got to use it each and every time. It makes a massive difference to the back end comps that you're going to get, obviously. And from Big AZ Craps Guru, who I met last trip actually, why? You're the guru, Richard, on comps on various games. Why are comps on bubble craps so bad?
That's a good question.
Now, I didn't know they were.
You know what? I didn't know they were either. So I'm going to have to look into that and see why they are either. I hear people playing those all the time. I can hear them from the restaurant and on the Yamo, people screaming and winning. So maybe it's good payoffs in there. I don't know, but I can tell you about the craps tables. When they count your odds in your average bet, and they're counting everything you have on that table, because some places don't count your odds because they let you go 10 times their odds. So when they do that, your theoretical number, which is what we base comps on, comes down because they are taken into that consideration. So it's like betting $1,000 on a blackjack table is going to get you a higher theoretical number, which is your average bet, the time played, and the odds in that table that gives you that theoretical number. And craps, it's the same thing, but the problem is that $1,000 you're risking on there part of that is your odds we're letting you go 10 times on. So if you have $1,000 on there, you could have 10,000 backing it up. So the comps do come down because we count every single bet on our craps tables. But you know, if you're going to play and you've got a great host taking care of you, they'll find a way to comp you well, and a lot better than the strip. I'll tell you that much.
Thanks, Mr. AZ Craps Guru. Okay, next question from Vegas Baby. They've just been watching the casino documentary at the Golden Nugget, the one that I couldn't remember you in, Richard, if you remember. I'm about to watch this during lockdown. Just getting up to the end now, where you will make your appearance shortly. So I'm looking forward to that. You came across very well, says Vegas Baby. Are you still in touch with the people in it? And if so, can you give us a quick update on them? Great question.
Well, thank you very much for that compliment. I appreciate it. It means a lot coming across well, because that's just me. I'm always genuine what I do, and I love taking care of people. That doesn't change with me. So when we did the documentary, it was interesting because Tim Poster, Tom Brightly, who owned the Golden Nugget, they were my gamblers. They came to see me at any casino I worked at, especially at the Hard Rock when I was there. They'd come and pop in for dinner and gamble a little bit. So they knew how I took care of people. Johnny DiCostantino was a good friend of theirs and mine, and he was also a player of mine who went down there as their vice president to help Maurice Wooden, the president there, who was already at the Golden Nugget. So it was really cool to see that. And I was working at Mandalay Bay at the time for the owners there. And when they opened up the Golden Nugget, it was just a great opportunity to be able to go to a smaller property and make a difference and see that difference take place. And I love that. So I talked to the owners of the Mandalay Bay Corporation. They allowed me to go because they were also friends with them, and it was no threat of business. So I went down, and that's when they were filming, and they were halfway through the filming. They wanted to show me getting hired on camera, which was pretty interesting. So we did that. And since then, you know, Tim and Tom, I've always keep track, whether it's on social media, whether we text, always a hello. These guys are awesome. They may have a lot of money from selling two successful businesses, but they are always cool. They're always welcoming, and they're always respectful to everybody. So they're great. Unfortunately, if you guys haven't heard, Tommy is no longer with us. There was a tragedy in his life. This kid, I'll tell you what, he lived a fast life in that documentary, and they made him look bad, because what documentaries do that? They want drama. So they want, you know, you watch the Kardashians or something, you see drama. Why do you keep watching? Because you want to see that drama. With Tommy was a great kid. Tommy was incredible, and to be able to mentor him a little bit more in hosting was a great opportunity and an honor to do. His father, John Sundstrom, still works at the Golden Nugget as a casino host, and he's one of the best hosts in the business down here. So it's awesome, and I still keep in touch with John. But I'll tell you what, Tommy became a successful salon owner. He had a hair salon that catered to people all in Las Vegas. He had two of them actually opened up with a partner, and they were very successful. Tommy got married, he had kids. He had everything going for him. The tragedy that happened with him, it was just, I'd rather not talk about it, but it was a loss to all of us. And like I said, a great human being.
That's very sad indeed. Okay, next question. And I think we touched on this last time, but I have heard a rumor that like Circus won't be reopening and things like that. Do you think any of the casino hotels will go out of business as a result of this?
You know, I don't know one casino that would go out of business. Hi, Christina. Our director of casino games just came in here, so I'm on one of her tables. So I thought she was going to try to kick me out. But anyways, that was fun. Anyways, no, I don't foresee any casino going out of business. It might create some casinos going up for sale in the way of wanting to get rid of so many of their properties, maybe, because there are two big operators on the strip that have a lot of properties. So you may see some for sale signs going up with some of them. But Circus, how are they going to go out of business? If anything, they're going to revamp themselves, because Phil Ruffin's in charge of that. He owns it now. So that's his baby. He owns Treasure Island. He owns Circus. I think you're going to see a lot of great things happen at Circus. He's a great guy. His son plays on in the baseball organization, the same as my son. So I've been able to meet him and meet his family. They're incredible. So what he has in store for Circus and for families, I think is going to be great. I also hear they're putting in a water park back there, so that could be spectacular for that hotel and casino. So no, I don't see any casinos going out of business, especially in Las Vegas.
No, good to hear. Okay, next question from Adam. Is the Circa pool going to be open to non-hotel guests? Now, I'm assuming if you're staying at Golden Gate or the D, you can use it for sure. But outside of that?
Adam, absolutely. We'll be able to put a few thousand people out there. So that'll be awesome. It's going to be huge. Put it this way: when you see the escalators going up to this thing, have you been to Universal Studios in the United States? Because if you've been there, you've seen these big long escalators that look like a mile long or half a mile long. We have two of them, and it's gonna raise up. It's gonna raise up to the fifth floor from the box office area where you check in, and it's going to be spectacular. When you go out there, everybody's going to have their own sections to sit and buy cabanas. There's going to be 6 pools. So yeah, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome to come. But I believe it's going to be 21 and older right now. So 21 and older, every day it will be open. And it'll have daytime and nighttime. So it's going to be interesting. So yeah, absolutely. Come and join us.
Fantastic. This is an interesting question. In terms of the 00, obviously in Europe we only have a single 0 on roulette. Now I know Jonathan has a single 0 game up at the Plaza. Is that anything that the D Golden Gate Circle would ever consider introducing to try and compete, or not?
Listen, they have a 000 now that came out in some of the casinos. So listen, be thankful it's a double.
Seriously?
It's a 00. And you have your single 0 on there. Be thankful we don't get the 000, because that would be in more favor of the casino having more numbers on there. So no, we're not looking to go to a 000. We're going to stick with the 00. Unfortunately, we don't have a single 0 roulette wheel in here. The demand's not there, unfortunately. If it was, we'd put it in. I know when it was at the Las Vegas Hilton, it was in demand, so we put it in back in the day. So when casino games are in demand, the casinos listen a lot to the customer when it's in demand. So listen, you want to bring me consistent players on a single 0 roulette wheel and play consistently on it, then we'll talk about a single 0 roulette wheel. But right now, be thankful we're not getting the 0 roulette wheel.
And actually, a question from me around not roulette, but slots in general. How do you decide what slots you stock on the casino floor? Who decides? Because obviously some of them are new. You don't know whether they're going to be particularly popular or not. Obviously, the ones like the Boa are different, but who makes a decision as to how many of a certain machine you have? How long do you stock them for? Do you buy them? Do you rent them? How does the whole decision-making process work?
So I'll tell you what. You ready for this? You guys do. The customer does. You determine what machines we have in here. Because the more that machines are played, the more they stay on the floor, the more we get of them. So if you don't see a machine on the floor, it's usually because it's not played that much. So we make way for something that is played more. We always try the new games. We always bring out the newest games, and we try them. But if they're not producing and nobody's playing them, why take up space on the floor when we can add another Buffalo or another Wheel of Fortune or another game that you love? Like, that's like Top Dollar, Matt. I know you love Top Dollar. We could add another Top Dollar instead of putting a machine that doesn't produce, So you guys are the ones that determine what slot machines go on our floors and what stays on our floors, which is great.
Hello to Kerry Shepherd. I've met Kerry before. And when you were younger, Richard, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Wow, that's actually a great question. So,
are you still growing up?
I'm always growing up, right? I'll tell you this: when I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian, because in my hometown of Guelph, Ontario, Canada, the university was the best for veterinarians. So I always thought being a vet, and I loved animals, and I still do. So that was something in my early teens I wanted to be. But then I found out how long you had to go to school for, and I thought, no, I want to be a businessman. I want to own my own business one day, and that's what I went to school for. marketing and business administration up there in Canada. I went to college. I played sports, football up through high school and lacrosse up until college. And then made the determination I didn't want to play sports in college, even though we could have went and played football. So that was done. But here's the kicker. I was doing high-level security for some of the most famous people in the world, politicians, celebrities, and that was looking like it was going to be a career for me, because I had an executive protection team for over 6 years in Toronto, and we protected everybody. And I thought that was going to be the way I went. But who would have known when I was 8, 9 years old, my father bringing me to Las Vegas and showing me the VIP lifestyle, that I would be working and living in Las Vegas for 25 years as one of the more known and probably bigger casino executives in a way of hosts, taking care of players. I'm just saying biggest in a way of taking care of some of the biggest people in a way of gamblers and celebrities and famous people that way. So that's exciting to look back at and to be asked that question, because no, I would never have thought this Canadian kid would be sitting in the middle of a casino right now in Las Vegas talking to you as basically a casino expert and executive. So that it just fascinates me and blows my mind every day.
I bet it must. I would love your job, Richard. I really would. Absolutely love it. Okay, from Paul Vega. This is an interesting one. It's not just the golden nugget in the showcase down at the Nugget. It's also the $1 million in Binions. Are these real or are they fake? Do you know?
Well, I can tell you this, okay? If it was ever fake, you probably would have heard about it already through the news. And if you would have heard about it, it wouldn't get as many people going down there to take pictures with it. So I can tell you this, Derek invested $1 million of his own money for Circa to have gold bars worth $1 million upstairs in the top lounge that he's putting up. So you're going to be able to go up into that bar in the lounge up on top of Circa, have the best views in the city, and take pictures with $1 million worth of gold. Now that's going to fluctuate of the price of gold, but he's investing $1 million worth into gold. So how we're going to put that up there, you'll have to come and see. But that's going to be real, just like everything else, I'm sure. Listen, we have the Barnaby, I can't even say it right now, stone upstairs on the second floor. Everybody comes in there and kisses it and touches it to be lucky, right? So that's real. We even had somebody steal it one time and run under the place with it. So it's crazy, but it's real.
Excellent. Okay, question from Nikki, my friend Nikki Firmage. Have you ever been to the UK? And if so, have you been to a UK casino? And if so, what did you think?
Well, Nikki, I could tell you.
Have you been to the UK or Europe, Richard?
I haven't been to the UK, and it is definitely a destination I want to get to. First of all, Nikki, I would call you and Matt, because I hear you guys are the pros there, and you'd have to show me around. I do want to check out the casinos. We deal with one of the casinos there here in Las Vegas. It's that big casino there. It's escaping me right now, but we deal with them and bring some of their customers in. But I am anxious to go out there because I'm kind of curious. Because everybody that comes in from the UK that's seen me on this Vegas documentary with Louie says that everybody knows who I am. So that's kind of funny. That would be kind of funny to see if people would recognize me there thinking, why would I be there? So maybe it's not me, So I would love to get that joke going. But I know, Matt, you said you want to do a casino event in one of the casinos there as me as a guest. Hey, I'd be up to it. That'd be fun. Get the casino to fly me in. I'll come do an appearance.
Absolutely. It's the Hippodrome, I think you're thinking of, which is the main sort of one in Leicester Square. Yeah. Yeah,
we've dealt with those executives.
They're
actually awesome. They're awesome guys that work there, and they come down with some of their hosts and their executives. They've been here, they've stayed with us, and they brought some of their guests, and it's awesome having them down.
Now, I know you're not a particular gambler. Maybe you were slightly in your youth, but if you did gamble, what games would you play in your casino?
So listen, I grew up watching my dad play blackjack, so I know everything about blackjack. And I'll tell you what, the best odds for a guest to come in and play in a casino is blackjack. That's your best odds because there is some skill involved. So you can determine it. Mind you, if you're really drunk and you're playing, sometimes there's no skill involved at all and you actually win. So, but at the same time, I don't gamble. If I went away with the boys when it's spring break to the Bahamas, I'd take enough that I could afford to lose and just have a good time on the tables. As long as you're doing that, that's all that matters. You're coming to have fun. Don't bring your paychecks down and think you're going to double it like those boys did in the gambling in Las Vegas and think you're going to go home and pay a bunch of stuff. Come down with the idea of having fun. Take enough money that you can afford to lose. Because if you go in that way, then you don't mind if you lose. And most of the time you'll probably win because you got a good attitude. And believe me, the cards know when you have a good attitude. Yeah. It's weird. But no, I don't gamble in Las Vegas. If I have friends that come in out of town and we go to a local casino because the movies are there or we go there to eat, yeah, I might pull out $100 or $200 and try to double it. That's it. If I double it, I get up because I know exactly what's going to happen. If I sit there too long, I'm going to give it back. So that's it. But gambling to me, listen, I have kids now and I want to make sure they have a great life. So I put it all into their sports and everything like that. I'm here to take care of you guys so you can have a great place to gamble.
Excellent. Yeah, and I must admit, just from what you're saying, I do think if you need to, no matter what game you play or slot machine you play, you will lose. There's no doubt about it. Whereas if you're just casual about it and you're just going about your business, if you're chasing it, to me, you never ever seem to win. So I totally get that, to be honest.
Well, it's crazy.
Okay, question from Steve.
It's crazy. Let me tell you this, Matt. I've seen a lot of guys that are drinking that don't know how to play blackjack, and they'll come and put $1,000 down and start betting $100 chips, black chips, and it's like, wait, you shouldn't pull on that. You shouldn't hit that 16 against the 6, and you know what? They hit it, and they get a 5 or a 4, and they win. They don't care about the rest of the table. But when they're playing that way, and they don't think, and they just go with the flow, I have seen so many people. I had a guy come in. This is a great story. I had a guy come in who's a very famous jeweler in town. Never played blackjack before in his life. Came into the Hard Rock. He won $125,000 his first time sitting down, and then he gave some back. So he walked away with $80,000. Do you know how much he started with? $500. Do you know how much he went into for that $500? $200. That was it. $200. He made $125,000. Gave back some, and then I invited him into the blackjack tournament 2 weeks later, and he wins the blackjack tournament. How's that for a story for someone that never gambled before? Is that crazy? Great story, though.
That is absolutely crazy. Yeah, that is a great story. Hi to Steve White. And when you reopen, we'll play. Right, this is an interesting trick. So we've got 3 slots. It's a quiet time of the day. Maybe the middle one's not working. The outer 2 are, but for whatever reason, the middle one is the one you want to play. Will there be an element of calling a slot attendant over and saying, is there any chance you could switch these around? Or is once they're off, they're off?
Yes. So as an individual basis, I think we're going to deal with that situation as it comes about. So let's say you come in with your wife and you want to play the machine beside you. Or maybe you want to play 2 machines. Yeah, if the machine's off beside you or we have it cornered off that you can't play it, we'll deal with that. We have enough slot attendants that we can deal with it. Your host can get involved with it and say, hey, I have a husband-wife team. They want to play these 2 slots beside each other. Yes, we'll work on that as an individual on an individual basis, and that won't be a problem.
Great. Fantastic. Okay, we've gone 40 minutes without a question about Alan, which is quite surprising. But so you've mentioned Alan doesn't like publicity. Would there be any chance you'd ever get him on your YouTube channel? Would he do an interview with you for your YouTube?
Yes, I'm going to work on that. I told Matt last time when I go to Toronto next, I will get him at dinner or I will get him in a room and him and I will get on and we will do a live right with Alan Ehrlich right there in Toronto when we go. So look forward to that when I get back to Toronto and Canada opens up again. to let me back in, we'll work on something. But I can tell you, let's break some news about Alan, Matt. Let's break some news right now about Alan. Okay. So Alan,
Do it.
what we shared with you that he was an Uber driver. Yes, he was an Uber driver up to about the end of 2017. What happened was and somebody just reached out to me and thought he went broke and that's why he was driving an Uber. If somebody goes broke, do you really think they're driving an Uber? In a way of if they got a lot of money? You don't know Alan. Alan's personality, he was lonely. He was a lonely guy. He was divorced. He has his kids, If he's not coming to a casino anymore or he's not getting out enough, where do you meet people? Matt, you know best. People you drive. So he would go on long trips and be able to tell stories and talk to people. That's why he drove an Uber for a couple of years, just to have fun and to get away. And I'm sure he was meeting a lot of pretty girls on that too. So I don't know, but I'm telling you, that's Alan. But he got out of it. He was done with it. He got back into the mattress business. He's helping consult, and he's doing very well. And I hear his kids are even doing very well in the sports memorabilia business, and he's helping consult there. And Alan's got a great business mind, and whatever he does, he makes money at. So that's the update on Alan. I talked to him, what was it, a month ago when I talked to you, Matt, that I told you I just got off the phone with him. And he's doing well, and we're best of friends. Like I said, he's godfather to my daughter still. So we keep in contact, and now even more, because we don't want to lose contact anymore. So
that's fantastic. Excellent.
Matt, do you want to try
okay, question for...
Do you want me to walk around?
Yeah, let's just
take them outside and show them Fremont Street after Kay's question.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do Kay's question first. So what both me and you, I guess, have been doing in lockdown to keep busy. So you go first, Richard.
Well, I've been learning about YouTube a lot, I can tell you that much. And probably bugging Matt and Hagen 2 Cent a lot about YouTube and how to do certain things on it. Besides that, I've been coming in 2-3 times a week because my office is in the executive offices, the owner and some of our officers are back there, the company. So nobody's in here. So for me to come in and work administratively was awesome. It gave me a break and got me away from things and broke up the craziness of staying home. But, my kids are home. They were homeschooling. So I was helping with that. And I'll tell you what, that was crazy. That was working itself, going back to school and helping your kids. And then my son plays baseball. So to train him in the backyard, doing a lot of things and keeping him fit to go back into baseball was a big deal for me. So we did a lot of that. But we did a lot of family bonding time. It was great. It was awesome to be that home with my kids and my family that much was incredible. I've never been able to do that because I work 55, 60 hours a week a lot of times. So I don't get to see them that much. And I see them when they go to school in the morning and see them when I come home at night, maybe. So that's it. So that's basically what I've been doing. And I've welcomed the time off because I've been able to do that with my family and keep them safe and healthy. Now I'm ready to get back and take care of all of you coming to Vegas. Matt, how about you? What have you been doing? I know you've been driving, right?
Well, no, to be honest, it hasn't. I say a different element, of course, with everything that's been going on. But yeah, fundamentally, I've been driving. I've been working every day. Suzanne, my girlfriend's been working every day in Piccadilly, Central London. So really, nothing's really changed in terms of job-wise for both of us. And I guess for that reason, it's sort of 3 months or coming up 3 months since my last holiday. I'm itching for a week where I can hop on a plane and come over and well, I've got no hair to let down, but figuratively speaking, of course. So, we both want to get away. We both want to come to Vegas this summer. We've been working hard. So, to be honest, we're ready for a break. I haven't needed to keep busy because I've been busy. So,
Vegas.
But thanks for the question, Kay. So, did you want to? Absolutely. I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure we've got 268 people watching, and I'm sure pretty much everybody wants to get back as soon as possible.
So let's show everybody the empty casino right now. So this is what it's like to be in an empty casino.
Quite staggering.
So let me do this. Let me take you out to Fremont Street in the owner's VIP box right now. This is where Matt partied just before we went into the pandemic. he went up here in the VIP box. So let me take you up there, and hopefully I don't lose you. But this is a sight to see, an empty Fremont Street. Let's take a look.
Yeah, this was ultra cool for me to go through this black curtain with Rob and Drew. It really did feel like a VIP for the night. It was pretty spectacular. Yeah.
Is that crazy? Look at this.
That is crazy.
Fremont Street.
Yeah, unreal.
Absolutely
Unreal.
No one around. Look at that stage that we have. We have bands on there all the time. Some of the biggest bands, some of the best people playing on there. Nobody. Remember, Matt, when you were here? We had thousands of people watching right there. It's weird to see it empty, huh?
Yeah, and 3 days later, the whole thing was closed. Yeah, unbelievable. When you think that Saturday night was like any other Saturday night on Fremont, you know, 4 days later, everything was closed.
And we'll do a live. Really. We'll do a live when we open on June 4th.
That's quite
just to show everybody kind of how crazy it might be down here, or how many people actually show up. So that'll be interesting. But that's Fremont Street closed.
That will be very, very interesting, actually. Very, very interesting.
And for all those that love Sigma Derby, let's take a shot and see if we can go up and see Sigma Derby in the second floor and what's going on up there. But this is it. We'll walk through the empty casino right now.
Amazing. Now, those of you that haven't been to the second floor of the D recently, just before lockdown, Bar Canada opened, I think it was like literally 48 hours before. I had Saturday night there just before closure. It really has transformed the top deck of the D, but they've still got Sigma Derby, you'll be pleased to know.
All right, here we go. If you've ever been to Andiamo, I'll tell you, this is the best Italian steakhouse in the city of Las Vegas. It's right here. Here we are on the second floor of the D. There's your bubble craps.
There you go, Mr. AZ handicapper.
Well, Sigma Derby. Who misses Sigma Derby? Let's see if the horses are running. Yep, they're running.
And this is the only Sigma. Oh, they're running.
Go, go, let's go. I don't think these horses have stopped. Because the thing about this machine, there aren't any parts to fix this machine anymore. You have to invent parts to fix this machine. It's pretty crazy. It is the only machine in Las Vegas in the way of Sigma Derby now. These horses never stop. But now you're on the second floor of the D Casino, our new high limit slot area. Matt, you played in there. You did top dollar in there, right?
Yeah, we did. Yes, yeah, we did. It's a great little high limit area in there. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It's just weird to see none of you over here right now. It's very strange. So, let's finish up with any other questions that some people might have, and then I got to get back to work.
Yeah, absolutely. I've missed where it is, but there was a question about group slot pools moving forward. Obviously, this is a subject close to my heart, Richard. Is there any way with social distancing you will allow groups of people to do group slot events early doors, or do you think that's a no-no?
Well, listen, if you're all coming in, if you're all coming in the same slot pool and you're all friends and you're all okay with it, I'm sure we can work something out, or we can corner off an area where you want to play the slots and just make that area just for you guys. I think that would be easier to do, I think. But we can work it out. Just get a hold of me, and you can get a hold of me at richard.wilk@thed.com, and we can go from there and see what we can set up. But yeah, I mean, Matt, you did it just before we went into it, into the pandemic. So I'll always work it out for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we were being careful. We weren't, at that point, it was where everyone was touching elbows. We went through this sort of phase, didn't we, before proper social distancing was around. But you just got to be sensible with it. And, but it's good that you'll consider it.
But I'll tell you this. Who's going to social distance when you win thousands of dollars in that group pool? You're all going to hug each other. You're going to all high five each other because you won. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see a slot pool, a group slot pool like that.
Yeah, no, that is very true, actually. I think everything will go out the window if you win the big jackpot. So, okay, let's see if we can find another couple of questions before we leave you guys until the next one. Okay, actually, it is an interesting one. Have you had any special requests from Eric? This is from any of your whales now because of COVID-19. So, any requests of people potentially coming back that they want you to change anything specifically? And do you think you will? And if so, would you entertain that? Sort of changing things for a specific person?
Yeah, you always accommodate certain guests that. It could range from a lot of different ways to accommodate people, but I'll tell you this: when it comes down to it, I think the big strip casinos might see a lot more of that because they have private rooms to gamble in. So you might have some big whales that come in that want to be private and not be seen by anybody gambling. But that happens on a normal basis, anyways, for those casinos. Down here, I don't think you see a lot of that. And the whales come in, if they're coming in to gamble, and they're going to gamble. If they don't want anybody else touching their cards, there's going to be certain accommodations you're going to make for different levels of play. And that's always the case in Vegas. So it doesn't matter whether it's COVID or not, we're always going to make the adjustment.
Yeah. Question for me as well. A lot of the old school slots, I know you're modernising that second floor. Are the old school Wheel of Fortune machines still there, or have you had a complete, remodel of everything up there? They used to be on the wall as you come up the escalator and you do a left to go towards Sigma Derby. They're on that wall at the top there.
I think they moved them, and I think they're over a little bit further from where they were down that wall. And I think they replaced them in other places up there, but it's really on demand. If they were played a lot, then they're still there. And if they weren't played a lot, then they're out. So that goes back to seeing how many guests actually played it. I know they moved some downstairs here into the back corner against the wall. So there might be some from upstairs, but I'm going to go take a look afterwards and double check where they did move them. And any slot questions you might have that I can't answer on here, leave a comment below, and when I see it, I'll get a hold of our slot director and I'll get them answered. So by all means, any questions you didn't get answered here, please leave them down below. I'll get them answered for you.
Yeah, that's a good one, Richard. Nice one. Okay, a couple more questions, then we will leave you for this stream. From Triple Ripple, Richard, do you get involved with the casino security and protecting your high-profile clients based on your background, or do you let their own personal security detail protect them? I would imagine you leave it to them, don't you? I don't know.
This is a great question, and I love it because I've done so much with this. So when I've had Rihanna in town at the Hard Rock, okay, and she would come in, when she got comfortable enough with me, she would bring one security guy with her, and then she always knew I was there for her, and I always watch her back. So I always had her protected no matter what. So she didn't have to bring a whole bunch of security guys. And then we'd always have a dedicated couple guys on the security staff that also knew that kind of way of protecting people, because it really is a whole different way of protecting people. It's concerned about it's not, when you come to a security guy at a high level like that, it's not about getting into a fight with somebody to protect that person. It's about getting that principal, that person, out of the situation quickly and avoid any drama. That's how a high profile level security guy works. So when you have celebrities, and a lot of people don't understand how to handle a high level celebrity or famous person or politician. So what I do, I sit down with the director of security and I find out who's the best person that I've worked with that kind of knows how to watch out for things, because it is all about being observant, 200% observant at all times, and knowing how you will work around that. So sometimes when somebody comes in, sometimes we might have to get them out quickly. I'll take them through the back way, and I call it the Goodfellas way, because when you see in the Goodfellas movie, you go through the kitchen to get out and into the restaurant and get seated. So I call it the Goodfellas way. But I'll give you an example. Eminem, back in the day, in my first years of working at the Hard Rock, Eminem came in and he was coming to Vegas to do a concert, and I got to do the after party. So I called Steve Rifkin, who helped get Eminem for me through Paul Rosenberg, who started Eminem, which was awesome. And I know these guys. So I said, listen, I'd love to throw the after party. But I knew Eminem had a big security team. But him coming to the property, I had to guarantee his security. And I had to make sure none of his guys wore guns. So back then, it was the early 2000s, so it was a big deal. But what did I do? After the concerts, we take them through the back door. Nobody knew. And keep it a secret and not letting the press and let everybody know that celebrity's coming to that place until after they've already left, is what I do, is the best way to be. So you don't have drama. So when people think about it, when a celebrity walks by you on the street, you don't realize till you're 10 feet past that person, was that so-and-so? And that's what happens all the time. And with Eminem, he went down in the nightclub. He had 100 people in his VIP area with a bunch of different rappers like Method Man and all these big rappers that were with him at the time that became even bigger after that. We did some movements from the club to the suite that he wanted to go into. And we did like 4 or 5 different movements with celebrities that were in the bunch with him. I called in one of my guys from Toronto that I worked with forever, a guy named Neil Baker. And he's like 6'5", and he's a big guy. But he knew how to handle things because we worked together and we had a security team together. He came in, and 2 guys at the Hard Rock that actually own their own security company now, separately, also helped me. And I knew how they were because they took care of celebrities for me. So it was really great. And I'll tell you what, this is the funniest thing about it. All of M's security guys, each guy was bigger than the next. So I thought I met them all. And when I got up to the hotel room with him, because he was the last one to take up to the hotel room, we got him into the room. It was great. We stood outside because I didn't want to invade their privacy, right? All of a sudden, this big guy comes walking down the hallway. And one of his security guys' names was Box. And he goes, Rich, meet House. I said, you certainly are. And his no joke, his shoulders almost touched each side of the hallway as he walked. And this guy was 6'5", 6'6". This guy was huge. I look tiny at 210 pounds, at 6 feet. So yes, listen, I will always watch over my celebrities because they come in and anybody that has any fame to them that gets recognized, I know what to expect. So I avoid the drama. And I like to do that because they trust me to come here. They trust me that I don't tell the press they're coming. They trust me in a way to handle their situations when they're in Vegas because they want to escape as well. They want to get away and have some fun without having to be the line right in the center of attention. So I make it comfortable for anybody that has that kind of notoriety. And I bring them in, they have fun, and when they leave, then the press goes out that they were here. And they're okay with that because not everybody can come and bother them. And that's what I do. I make it comfortable for them. I make it comfortable for everybody. So great question. And thanks for asking that.
Thanks, Triple Ripple. That's great. And a final question before we leave you for this particular stream. And I know we had this last time, but I think it's important for people that maybe are watching this that didn't watch the last one. You're going to get a lot of extra people coming in, I think, as a result of these live streams. It's great that the D and yourself in particular are getting into the whole YouTube thing. There's certainly a gap in the market for me for properties and people such as yourself actually getting into the so would you tier match slot cards? So June Diamond is actually Diamond Plus at Caesars. Would if she brought her card to you, is there anything you could do to help her out?
So June, this is also a great question, because a lot of places do have their different tiers and slot cards. But you know what? We don't. We're talking about it. We're in the process of maybe doing something, maybe a 1, 2, 3 tier thing in a way of our one card. But right now, if you're that kind of player, I'm going to tell you this. If you're that kind of player at Caesars or any other property and you're on a higher tier and you come down here, I can tell you this. You are going to get treated like a queen or a king, because the way we comp down here and the way we take care of people, unfortunately for the Strip, is better for us because we give you more personalized attention. Your comps go a lot further. The money you gamble goes a lot further down here. It's tough for the Strips because they have a lot more expenses. They've got a lot more hotel rooms. They've got a lot more costs associated with stuff. Not like us, where we can take care of you and not have to worry about that so much. So if you come down here and let's say you're a $5,000 player, like you bring $5,000 with you on a trip to gamble with. Doesn't mean you have to lose it. Just put it across the table and risk it. You can leave at the same time you can leave at the end of the trip with that same amount of money, but built up enough comp play to get everything free and not have lost a dime or have won. So that's what downtown is a lot easier to do, because at $5,000, you're recognized down here like a king. What you can get for $5,000 in way of comp tier, opposed to a Strip property that's a big property, is a lot more. It's a lot more bang for your buck. So that's the difference. So the tiers down here really doesn't matter, because your play is going to dictate the level and tier that you really are, and that casino host is going to treat you accordingly. And I can guarantee you that. And if the host down here doesn't, you come see me, I'll treat you the way you're expected to. So Matt, I know that was the last question. So let's do this. I want to let everybody know, first of all, thanks for watching. This is awesome to be able to do this in an empty casino, because we probably won't be able to do this ever again. So thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, put them down below. Subscribe to both Matt and I, because we're going to do this often. We'll probably do this June 4th when we open, to see what kind of crowds we have. And I'll sneak it in somewhere where we can do it and show off the crowds. And then at the same time, I'm going to release tomorrow a must-see Las Vegas Strip at night with not a single person on it. I'm standing in the middle of the street. I'm driving through Porte Cocheres, and there is no one around. So watch for that video being released tomorrow. It is something to see. It is really incredible to see the Las Vegas Strip closed for business and no one around. So watch for that video tomorrow. Matt, take it away. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you helping me host this from the UK.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I have seen that video, and it is absolutely awesome. So, keep on with the live stream. We will be back hopefully on the 4th of June. Love doing these questions. They do flash by so quickly. So apologies if once again I didn't get to yours, but next time for sure. So join us again next time, 4th of June. Let's get Vegas reopened. Thanks for joining us both, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, guys.